the Las Vegas Raiders have made a flurry of moves, and none bigger than Friday night, right before the end of the show. We mentioned the massive trade. They get Maxx Crosby. They send their first. They trade Maxx Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. They get the Ravens' 14th overall pick. They get Baltimore's first round pick in 2027 as well. And then on top of that, they have not slowed down. They then sign, on top of it, they then sign Tyler Linderbaum, the center, for a record deal for an interior lineman. The center, best center on the free agency market. He leaves Baltimore, goes to the Raiders, 3 years, $81 million with $60 million guaranteed for a center. I mean, look, you consider the salary cap, it goes up $20 million every year. I guess we shouldn't be that shocked that a center is getting nearly $30 million, but holy smokes, is that a lot of money. Raiders have a lot of it to spend, and they aren't wasting any time, Brad. They also get Kwity Paye from the Colts, pass rusher, 3 years, $48 million. And then literally in the first segment that we were on the air, they signed Quay Walker, linebacker from Green Bay, for 3 years and $40 million. And they get Nakobe Dean from the Eagles, 3 years, $36 million. On top of Jalen Nailor and Eric Stokes, both receiver Jalen Nailor and corner Eric Stokes, both in the three years for the $30 million range in terms of the total contract. Las Vegas ain't wasting time. They're going to get Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall. And they've got round draft picks this season. And yeah, we probably still view them as the worst team in that division just because the Chargers, Broncos, both playoff teams last year, and the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm assuming they're going to be a playoff team again. But man, the Raiders are making a massive leap here in adding some premier talent to their team. And I'll just say it. I don't think they're a playoff team, but man, if Mendoza is as good as we think he can be, then why can't they be this year's Patriots, who went 4-13 a year ago, spent a boatload of cash. Drake May takes the big second-year leap. They brought in Mike Vrabel. Raiders bring in Clint Kubiak. Just how big of a step forward can the Raiders take this year? That's what I'm curious to find out. But man, I am in love with the moves they've made so far these last 72 hours.
Yeah, look, they could be a 500 team. They could be slightly above 500. I think that is the end game for this year's version of the Las Vegas Raiders. Look, it's like spinning the roulette wheel and stacking your chips on black. They're going to cash in, a few times, but you're hoping to walk away from the table not penniless. Money starts to imagination. I don't think it's going to be that way at all. For this overall team, you got Brock Bowers on roster. You got Ashton Genty as well. And you make this a primo investment in your offensive line. Linderbaum is a guy that's really going to shore up a unit that was bottom 6 last season in pass blocking efficiency, according to Pro Football Focus. They are going to draft Fernando Mendoza. And I know some people are like, well, maybe they won't draft him. They would be insane in the membrane. They would be a few clowns short of a circus if they go any other direction. Mendoza is a real deal, Holyfield. He played in Indiana. Yeah, you jackass. They won the national title. And they beat the likes of Alabama. They beat the likes of an outstanding Miami Hurricanes defense. And he was doing it, throughout the entire Big Ten slate against pretty much everybody, just tearing them up. One of the most accurate quarterbacks in the college football ranks. He's going to transition smoothly. Now, based on the report that we saw last week, is he going to be brought along slowly? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. If they're going to invest that, number 1 overall draft capital in him, he is going to be inserted in the starting lineup straight away. The other sneaky good signing for this team, Pat, you mentioned, is Jalen Nailor. The former Minnesota Viking comes over. I know he was kind of the third wheel, fourth wheel in that offense, but on occasion, man, he shined. He's got separation skills. He's a chunk gain kind of receiver. He can run various routes in the overall tree. He is, in my estimation, a certifiable WR2. Now, do they really have a WR1? Well, kind of. It's tied in Brock Bowers. And I still think they're going to make some additional investments in the wide receiver room, though Besh is going to be back for another year. They have some guys that have some experience in that overall offense. I like what the Raiders are doing. They're moving in the right direction. And if anybody is out there doubting Fernando Mendoza and whether or not he's going to transition seamlessly the next level, if you are casting doubt on him, get your damn head examined. The guy's a winner. He's mobile in the pocket, crisp and accurate. He is going to thrive in Sin City, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, again, 310-840-4910 is the number to join the show. 310-840-4910. Get to your phone calls here in 30 seconds. Just one more point. Yeah, and look, the Raiders, they've got to take some of the spotlight in a good way off of Brock Bowers, right? I mean, you can't have Brock Bowers getting 10, 12 targets a game. As good as he is, I mean, when you got to go to him, of course you go to him, but you need some receivers that can do some damage. They have been, since they traded away Devontae Adams, no offense, like you said, to guys like Jack Besh, and, when Jacoby Myers was on the team, it's been a dearth. There's been a void there. So we'll see if Jalen Nailor can make a big step forward. He's going to, be playing a big role. They get Fernando Mendoza, a receiver. They get Fernando Mendoza, huge, the best offensive lineman on the market, and Tyler Linderbaum. And like you said, there was no doubt. The Raiders are drafting Fernando Mendoza. There's no shot Clint Kubiak would have took this freaking job if he wasn't getting guaranteed Fernando Mendoza.